Hello, welcome. Today I have the great pleasure of having Daniele Gambero, the co-founder and CEO of the REI Group of Companies with me here on our podcast. And I know him for many, many years. I used to live in Kuala Lumpur, where he's been even longer than myself. And welcome to our show today, Daniele.
Thank you, Matthias. Thank you for having me here. It's actually an honor to contribute a few thoughts on the GSX platform.
Great.
Fantastic.
Excellent, excellent. Maybe you can give our listeners a brief intro into what kind of work you do in Malaysia and how are things there at the moment?
Yes, thanks for the opportunity, of course. And I've been in Malaysia. I'm Italian originally. I've been working, studying all around the world, landing in Malaysia in 1998. And since then, I never moved away from here. I've been spending my life in helping property developers in studying and designing their marketing campaign, their awareness, their branding, the way they look at the property market, the way they develop the properties. Here in Malaysia, I've been establishing with a local partner in 2007 a group of companies. We have been growing through the years as a strategic partner for property developers, government agencies, and kind of institutional investors,
Great,
kind of
great.
ETF, banks, and so on.
Excellent. And Daniela, one thing that you mentioned during our GSX town hall meeting was that in Malaysia already 150 hotels have closed down since the COVID-19 lockdown period. So what's happening in the market? What's happening with real estate? Are loads and loads of empty properties available now?
Okay, Malaysia property market, real estate market was already in an oversupply situation with quite a big number of unsold and overhang of properties before this pandemic came in. When the pandemic came in, of course, the whole economy has been shut down for almost 2 months. We are in an open environment only since Tuesday this week. The Prime Minister has been lifting the latest regulation on MCO. There are still minor ones, but the situation is definitely not easy and not foreseeable, becoming again a positive and optimistic situation for many months. Tourism, hospitality, hotels, restaurants, F&B, shopping malls have been suffering the most. And as you are saying, there are really hundreds of budget hotel, 3-star hotel, 4-star hotel. Maybe you can remember the Park Royal Hotel, where we had several conferences at that time that you were here in Malaysia.
Yes.
It's been closing down yesterday.
Wow.
Shut down completely. Flamingo Hotel in Penang closed down. Flamingo Hotel in KL under discussion. Plenty of big names really slowly moving out from the market.
Yeah, so those are really, really big names. I mean, the Park Royal Hotel, for example, where we've been doing some of our conferences in the past years, is a hotel with a lot of tradition, reputation. One would have assumed strong cash flow as well. But that is really surprising that it's hitting some big names as well. Have already any shopping malls announced that they will be closing down or? Not yet.
Shopping mall, not yet. But you see, retail market was already suffering in 2018 and 2019 because of the overwhelming wave of e-commerce. Everything is going digital, basically. As I've been explaining to you, myself too, I was having an office of 1,500 square feet with about 10 staff inside. I am closing down my office because I'm moving my business online. My staff has been increasing, my business has been increasing, moving digital, adopting, going for a full adoption of the digital transformation has been changing the way we were doing business. And during MCO, actually, we have had a growth, not a slowdown. So the world is definitely changing.
Yes, yes. For
Yeah,
our listener, MCO in Malaysia is movement control order.
yeah.
We have different expressions for different parts of the world, just so everybody can understand that. And
Yeah,
actually, the MCO, the control order, was shorter in Malaysia than it was here in the Philippines, where I am based, where it has lasted nearly 3 weeks. It's kind of easing off, but it's still kind of partially enforced. And, you know, that's another trend that you just mentioned. Office space will be available because people are realizing, due to being forced now of working digitally from home, it's actually working. It is
absolutely.
no problem. It is maybe even more efficient, and people don't waste time in traffic jams, and they have a better quality of life with their family if they have a good place where they can work at home and efficient internet.
Quality of life
Yes,
improved
yes.
100%.
Wow.
Improved 100% because both me and my wife, we work together. The business is ours. All right. We are both working from home. Sometimes we just take a 15-20 minutes off. We chit chat a bit, prepare food, have chit chat with our daughter. And then our daughter is also going full time on e-learning. Schools will
Wow. Wow.
should really looking into a, let's say, not a total but partial transformation on online education. Business online is definitely good. As you are saying, micro business, small SME, medium-sized SMEs are already shrinking the space they were occupying, and some of them moving totally online. There has been a boom of a boost of online businesses here in Malaysia. Office
Wow.
space is definitely another big question mark on the
Mm.
future of real estate in general, not only here in Malaysia. Because as you
So
are saying, people have been realizing it.
yeah. So is it then all doom and gloom for office, commercial real estate, for malls, for restaurants? Is it all doom and gloom, or is there going to be a big opportunity in the refurbishment of those places? Will those places be available for cheap? What is your prediction of the marketplace, and where can people still make money? I mean, you've been growing, so there must be some opportunities there.
Plenty.
So
You see,
tell us the
one of
secret.
yeah, but no. Is basically opportunities are everywhere. In the worst is the crisis, the more are the pain points, and for each pain points you can be able to individuate to see 2 or 3 opportunities. One of the things that having a digital business need is once upon a time a place for meetings. So part of this empty office space should become a rent per hour meeting
Mm,
room, meeting office. I don't
mm,
need an office for 12 months. I may need an office only for one day, half a
yes.
day. I need to do some training, offline training. I just use a small office. I rent it for 200 ringgit, and then I move in with all my team. We do the training, we do our discussions, and then bye bye, baby, back online.
Mm,
So office space definitely will, because again, we in Malaysia we were already having quite a big supply of existing office space with a quite abundant pipeline in the forthcoming future supply of office space. One of the things that I am looking at in this moment is how to define a easy to be a kind of a plug and play model to
mm,
transform, to convert, to refurbish, to redevelop.
mm,
No, redevelop is too much. I would say refurbish is the max.
yes.
Unoccupied hotels,
Mm,
unoccupied office towers into what is still in huge demand, affordable housing. You see,
interesting.
MCO from a real estate point of view, impact on hospitality, impact on retail, impact on office space, impact also to me, I'm expecting it to happen and to come in as a strong trend on the likes of people. Residential unit that were going as a hot cake before the MCO, before the we shouldn't call it MCO actually. We should call it the Great Lockdown, as the International Monetary Fund has been calling it.
Yes, yes. Easier to understand. The
Yeah,
Great Lockdown. Not the
yeah.
Great Depression yet, but the Great Lockdown.
So the Great Lockdown came in. Before that, there were already kind of this studio unit, the small 500, 400, 600 square feet residential unit or office space under residential title, kind of, right? The studio unit, the Soho, the Sovo, all these type of personally, I look at them a bit unsustainable and unacceptable, but the market was buying them. I am expecting all the people that have been living in a small cage for 2 months to give up those small units and moving towards a bigger unit in a condominium or maybe in a small landed property where you will have 1,000 a single story terrace house in Malaysia. You can still buy it outside Greater KL, of course. You can still buy it for 300,000 ringgit, and you have 1,200 square feet of usable space. Go for a double story, you buy it for 400,000. Oh yeah, but it's far away from Greater KL. Who cares? I work online. My question is, can I have optical fiber there? Then I move there.
Yeah. That will be the key criteria. Key criteria in the future. But then the question will be this kind of urban sprawl. If we have people moving more and more around the big city center, will that be good for sustainable living? I mean, the original idea was if we can concentrate people in central spaces with condensed infrastructure, with public transport, it would reduce our carbon footprint because we are closer to the working environment. But now everything changes again. We don't even need to have a workplace. Our home can be the workplace. And maybe once or twice a month, we need to go to a central location to meet our colleagues, to basically update one another. But, I don't know about you, but I have realized I can be far more efficient if I have my meetings virtually because I don't need to spend hours and hours on the road and in the traffic.
Precisely, Matthias. Before the Great Lockdown, I was spending an average of 4 hours every day in the car.
Yeah.
Wasted time. My footprint of CO2 was horrible. And I was also living in a very unhealthy environment. You see, another thing that is going to happen, the world has an opportunity that shouldn't be thrown away. I would say that this COVID-19 has to be taken as a huge opportunity to change radically our lifestyle. Who say that living concentrated in one place, all right, will allow a place to be sustainable? Yes, CO2 emission, carbon dioxide footprint, all these things, agree with you. But what if I can have a much healthier, less dense way of living? I don't need to use a car because I work from home. That means that my CO2 personal carbon footprint is very low, very small. And at the same time, I have a much more livable type of environment, quality of life, quality of life.
But then it depends as well on how much aircon do you need at home. I have realized here in my house, our aircon has gone up a lot because before we only had one aircon in the bedroom. Now we need an aircon in the living room as well and potentially in another room so I can work effectively. I don't have the kids coming into the room where I'm working all the time. So it's a little bit of our electricity bill has gone up, embarrassingly for me to say, supposedly, with my title, greenest person on the planet. But I always tell people nobody is perfect and you have to live with the realities. And my super efficient, less than $10 electricity bill was when I was living a bachelor lifestyle in Kuala Lumpur, in a condo that I selected because it was naturally cool already. It had a
Yeah.
good airflow, and it had a bit of, the walls were not facing the afternoon sun. So I was not really in the need of using the aircon. But if you live in houses in this part of the world, in Southeast Asia, that are hot and humid, and there is no good air circulation, there's no passive design, then you are forced to use aircon. Otherwise, you're struggling to actually work inside of those homes. So that could be the flip side, that your electricity bill at home goes up massively once you're working from home all the time. What's your
Okay.
experience?
My practical experience during these 2 months, yeah, it has been going up, but I do a very simple comparison. I have a TNB. TNB is the supplier, the national supplier of electricity, provider of electricity here in Malaysia.
Yes.
So I had before the Great Lockdown, I had a TNB bill for home and a TNB for my office.
Yes.
TNB bill for my office. Total of the two was in the range of 1,100 Malaysian ringgit a month. Now, I am abundantly below 800 Malaysian ringgit a month.
Okay.
Yes, I stay more at home.
Yes.
I use a very heavy curtain. I use opening up in the morning and during night the windows. In my bedroom, I use aircon only for 3 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
From 11 p.m. to 2 p.m. to 2 a.m.
That's great.
Then automatically off, and the fan is keep on going.
Yeah.
Fans,
Yeah.
I have fans in all rooms.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, I'm not in the office. I don't need to wear. You see me quite okay. Today I'm a bit informal. Normally, when I do this Zoom, I put up a shirt and so on. But you can see only from here up.
Yes.
I am a bit shy in standing up because you will find out that I'm actually sitting with shorts and slippers, and I'm much more relaxed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're in the same boat. I won't stand up either. I'm actually not. I don't have shorts, but I have a Malaysian style sarong. Will look even more funny. But you told me before we started, and I feel that's a funny story as well. You're wearing your hat because you haven't cut your hair for a long, so you're quite embarrassed. No, it still looks all right, man, because it's squeezed on your. But you haven't had that long hair for a long time. Yeah.
I can almost have a horse tail. I really cannot tahan any longer.
But you should go botak. Botak is the Malay word for bald, bald-headed. Very eco-friendly. You save water, you save shampoo. So that is my recommendation always. But yeah.
One thing that popped up when you were talking about the difference of electricity bill and quality of construction and material of construction. I don't know if I mentioned to you, I am the deputy president of the Malaysian PropTech Association. PropTech means property technology, means technology applied in the property business, which has been massively entering into the market here in terms of use of technology and digitalization for collateral services to the property industry. Booking management, sales management, rental management, all this kind of mortgage and so on. Now, one of the things that is popping up is ConTech, construction technology. And one of the things that we all should start talking about is exactly this, change, a shift in the type of material used in constructing homes.
Yes.
A shift in the design of the home, orientation-wise. Make sure that most of your windows are south or north. Don't make east or west, so that you avoid the heating. Use glazed glasses. Technological or a bit techno product to improve the quality of your house. Will automatically bring in saving a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have been promoting some of those technologies when I was in Malaysia. I mean, I was promoting the coating of the glass so you keep the heat outside and you spread the light inside of the building. But that technology never really took off. Then my
Yeah.
friend is selling this smart coat. I used that for my tiny eco home. You actually put it on the roof and it is a heat barrier. You can use it on the wall as well, and it prevents the heat from coming in. But again, it's difficult to sell because people are kind of, if you don't own the property, you will not invest because it's not your asset. Only if you own it, you will really spend that kind of money. But we should have developers already addressing this at the front end with the orientation of the building that doesn't cost anything more, with the building material. If you have lightweight concrete brick, if you have insulated materials like wood, wool, cement, which is what we used for the tiny home, you have an automatic insulation without paying extra. But
Yeah.
I think consumers or people who are actually buying or renting properties are not aware enough or are not including that in their decision-making criteria when they buy or rent the home. When I wrote my Green Man book, my recommendation was go there at 6 o'clock in the evening, all aircon switched off before you buy or rent. And if it's too hot, don't do it. Don't buy or
Precisely.
rent it. But how many people are using these criteria? Very, very few people.
Yeah, and developers, and is something that is not happening here in Malaysia.
Yes.
Is most of the emerging markets are actually having developers that are saying building is still all about sand, bricks, and mortar.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
They do not look into IBS. They don't look into insulating material. They don't they are still very much. Really looking at property development as sand, brick, and mortar, purely. You see
Old
the building
style.
behind me
Yes.
is
Yes.
the Colosseum in Rome, all right?
Yes.
The basic construction till almost this level, where you can see the white, is all done by stones. My house, when I was living in Italy, was a 13th century monastery.
Wow.
Where the ground floor wall was all constructed with stones, no bricks.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
thickness was almost 4 feet.
Wow. So
The wall
excellent to keep
was
the
going
building cool.
absolutely in
In
August.
the
I was still using a blanket to sleep.
yeah.
And I
But
never had the aircon.
what about the winter? What about the winter? How cold did it
Fantastic.
get? Did
No
it keep it
cold.
warm?
Yes, because
Wow. Yeah.
inside we were having the heating system as we
Yeah.
use everywhere in Europe. The four-season
Mm.
country are having it in every condominium, in every unit, and we were generating warm, which. Let me say, during the month of October, November, the walls were accumulating heat. And during the very cold month of December, January, and February, this heat was maintaining the house warmer. So
Yeah.
those are very simple and basic things that should be considered by developers. And as you are saying, education in the public. One of the most important things that we all should be doing is educate the public. I've been starting like a few years ago when REDA launched the RE Green Index in competition with the GBI Green Building Index. And
for our listeners, those are the two main competing green building certification systems in Malaysia. One is basically the Malaysian domestic system. The other one was adopted by the Real Estate Developer Association from the Singaporean model. And
yes,
so those
that
two
is
are
correct.
competing a little bit, but they're similar to LEED in the US LEED system, but local adaptations.
Let me say that GBI is nearer to lead US, while Green Index, Green RE Index, the REDA one, the Developers Association one, is a sugared copy of the Singaporean index. From a logic point of view, with all the respect for the Americans, being a equatorial country, I would rather prefer to use a successful index developed in Singapore, which has exactly the same problem I have here. Monsoons rain, very hot weather, very high humidity, compared to an index that comes from a country which is a four-season country. We don't have
big difference,
here.
big difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
But still, Matthias, what is absolutely unacceptable is that in Malaysia, as far as in the most of Southeast Asian country, developers can apply for a development order, for a building plan, and have everything approved without even being green building certified, which is instead compulsory in Singapore. This is a very simple step to be introduced by the government.
So it should be upfront. It should be at the beginning. It should really be addressed in the early stages of development. That gives me a great idea, actually. The most amazing building that I saw that was super green and even saved money. Which one?
The Diamond. The Diamond building, the Energy Ministry in Putrajaya.
That one is great. That one is amazing. And I was on the roof there and I was very impressed. But they paid more money for making it green, but they recovered that after 3 or 4 years. But this Singapore, the United World College, they saved a lot of money through radical green innovation. And they did it through, you know, some simple things like normally, and that just reminds me, I have to invite these guys as well on the podcast here because it's an incredible case study. They basically have all the pipes with the cold water running through the building with minimum flow resistance. Normally, the architect will hide the pipes immediately in the wall with a 90-degree bend. And these guys decided, no, we don't need that. We can actually make it very, very easy, very straightforward. We can have it to be a situation where you can actually make it as straight as possible, minimum flow resistance. So there comes only 2 horsepower instead of normally 5 horsepower. In Singapore, it's a law that you need to have fans and ducts to bring in the fresh air exchange in the toilets. They made cross ventilation in the toilets where you wash your hand, you look at the motorway or at the rainforest. So it was an open system on both sides. So there was the air coming through. They said to the authorities, we don't need it because we have natural cross ventilation. The authorities said, no, you need it. It's a legal requirement. Okay, come over, have a look. They discussed with them 2 or 3 times until the authorities said, yeah, you are delivering exactly what we specified with the natural passive solution. Okay, you don't need it. So they saved 7% of construction costs with radical innovation. So this is an amazing, and all of it was upfront. They had a team that worked together to achieve those design features. But hey, we are coming at the end of our half an hour. We should do another one. We should have done longer.
A few hours.
let me do the final vision from your side, Daniela. What are the opportunities in the future? What do customers want from you now? I'm blown away by you telling me that you're doubling your business in the great lockdown. And what is your vision for real sustainable real estate in the future? Words of wisdom from you at the end.
Opportunity in the market is basically whatever can be a digital transformation of the real estate business, which goes and includes smart building, which goes and include really smart home, because in this moment until now, most of the smart home were actually quite dumb, not really smart at all, just with a couple of gadgets. But as we have been discussing several times in our virtual roundtable, all these devices are easily accessible in the market. So that is definitely a very strong direction. Technology, PropTech is a huge opportunity. I was talking with the guy, founder of Unishu, which is a huge PropTech platform in UK. He told me that during the lockdown, the acceleration in digital adoption by developers and real estate professionals has been multiplying by 5 times the speed. he was expecting to see few things happening in another 5 to 6 years. He's now seeing those things already happening.
Wow, wow.
So living together will keep on being there, but there is this pandemic mindset that has been entering. I don't know you, but when I see a lift that I need to take to go to a certain floor with more than 4 people inside, I prefer to let the lift go and wait for
I am. Or walk. Take the stairs. Take the stairs.
Exactly. Or even walk. Exactly. Do some exercise.
Yes.
Even work. So all these changes will come in. Size-wise, as we were discussing, technology-wise, technology is a huge opportunity. And then again, a kind of a refurbishing, reuse, what we have been keep on saying, push the reset button. Yes. Pandemic has been pushing the reset button of the real estate industry. Now it's up to all of us to reboot.
Yeah.
In the right way.
Time to reboot with technology, with sustainability, with health, and with positive mindset. I think we got some amazing insights here, and technology and IT tools is really the name of the game, I think now. And we got some great insights. Thank you so much, Daniele, for the excellent sharing and for opening up your Pandora box wisdom for us, and looking forward to talk with you again soon. And thanks, listeners, for joining us. Looking forward for you guys to join us for the next time. Cheers.
Bye-bye from Malaysia.
Matthias here. Bye.
Bye.